spend in a miserable way.
State of the Union guests include Joshua Trump, boy bullied for his last name, and Pittsburgh sh00ti. President Donald Trump will give the State of the Union address Tuesday night, but he won't be the only one making a statement. Beyond the president's words, the State of the Union guest list has become one of the most watched parts of the annual address, as lawmakers often invite people who epitomize an issue facing their state or the nation, and this year is no exception. Coming out of that delayed the speech for a week, lawmakers' guests prominently feature some of the 800,000 federal workers affected by the shutdown, and highlights top political issues across the country such as immigration, gun control, women's rights, and the opioid crisis. According to the White House, Trump's hour-long address focusing on the economy, military, and immigration and a pledge to work across the aisle on key issues. Here are some highlights from the guest list. Trump has invited 13 guests to the address, including Grace Aline, a 10-year-old cancer survivor from New Jersey. In lieu of birthday, Judah Samet, a survivor of that killed 11 in October, will attend the speech as a guest of Trump. Samet, also a Pittsburgh police officer and SWAT team member, who while responding to the shooting at the Tree of Life, will also attend the speech. Bullied in school for sharing last name with the president, a 6th grade student from Wilmington, Delaware has also been invited to attend. The teacher will say, "Joshua Trump, are you here?" He'll go yes. In fact, the bullying was so bad that his parents opted for homeschooling before transferring the 11-year-old to a different school. Teachers have stopped. The president's other guests include Elvin Hernandez, a special agent with Homeland Security who focuses on human trafficking. Ashley Evans, known for cornering Sr. Jeff Flake as Ocasio-Cortez did when she was sworn into Congress. Female members of both parties to during the State of the Union address as a tribute to the suffragette movement. Activist Anna Maria Archila will attend President Trump's State of the Union address as a guest of Republic. Alexandria, read more. Last week, Republic. Bonnie Watson-Cole, leaving her job at the golf club in December after publicly disclosing her undocumented status. Morales, she has a message for the president: forget about the wall, stop separating families and focus on an immigration reform. Sandra Diaz, who also spoke to the New York Times about working at the golf club while undocumented, will attend the speech as a guest of Republic. Jimmy Gomez the two have petitioned members of Congress for protection from immigration customs and enforcement and asked lawmakers to scrutinize the hiring practices of the Trump Organization. Read more. Read more. Republic. Madeleine Dean also drawing attention to gun violence prevention, the mother of Bianca Robertson, a teen who was in 2017. Read more. Mary Gay Scanlon, D. Pennsylvania, will also be joined, highlighting the opioid crisis. Republic. Brian Fitzpatrick, King Fu Lee, will attend the speech as a guest of Republic. Tom Malinowski, reflecting Trump's, lawmakers on both sides of the aisle are bringing workers impacted by the government shutdown as well as Border Patrol representatives. Republic. Similarly, Sr. Bob Casey, John Malloy, President and CEO of Lehigh Valley Company Victaulic, will attend as a guest of Sr. Pat Toomey read more. Get the news you need to start your day. Get the news you need to start your day. 2019, Philadelphia Media Network Digital, LLC / 2019, Philadelphia Media Network Digital, LLC
Raindrop, drop top smoking, no cooking the hot pot. Fucking on your bitch, yeah, that. Looking up, open the park pot.